audible and visible to all of you. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Shubham Sagar, and today we'll do Hindu analysis of 10th September 2025. So, if I'm audible and visible, you can write it in the comment section that I am audible and visible. And in the meantime, we'll start the session. Hindu analysis of? Yeah, I think I can hear myself clearly. So, let's start the discussion. And my name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is, and again, just give me a second. And this is our channel, ISD Ultimate Dream. Subscribe it, spread the word. You people are my messenger. So yesterday I gave 2 questions as homework. Good morning, Gajanan. Yesterday I gave 2 questions as homework. This was MCQ 11, which was International Literacy Day. Good morning, Anandu. International Literacy Day is observed every year on which particular day? What is the answer? Again, it's a very factual question, but UPSC will not ask you this, the other exams will. But we have talked about it because yesterday we have talked about Himachal Pradesh becoming fully literate state, and all these things are important. So yes, sir, what is the answer of International Literacy Day? When is it observed? 5th September, 8th September, 10th October, 15th October. What is the answer? What we have discussed yesterday? The answer is, as Anandu stated, 8th September. Very good. MCQ 12, detente. So yesterday we have done the third part of India-China relationship, three-parter, and we have talked about India-China relationship, border issue, how it evolved, and there we have talked about this word, detente. Very good, Gajanan, very good, Anandu. So what is the basic meaning of the term detente? Detente, maybe it is pronounced something else, phonetics. Detente is permanent resolution of conflict between rival state, temporary easing of tensions without resolving the underlying dispute, unilateral withdrawal from disputed territories, military escalation to achieve strategic goals. As Anandu stated, the answer is temporary easing of tension without resolving underlying dispute. So B, both answers are B. So let's come back to the present and let's talk about the first article of the day, which is an editorial written by P.J. Narayanan sir, who is a professor and former director of Triple IT Hyderabad. So a good guy, an awesome guy, a knowledgeable guy, and he has talked about something known as technological independence. So what he is talking about? So we talk about political autonomy, this and that. So now we need something known as hardware sovereignty or technological sovereignty. When you talk about most of India's bank, so the server and all the things which we are talking about, client server, and we'll talk about all these things. What is a client base? What is a server base? So most of these servers are handled by companies which are based in US. So we don't have technological sovereignty, and that's what PJ Narayanan sir is talking about. And he's saying that we need technological sovereignty. We shouldn't be dependent on. I have given this example multiple number of times in my previous Hindu analysis that during Kargil war, US did not allow us to use GPS. Same thing can happen. These US companies who have most of the servers, bank servers, etc., they can, God forbid something happens in US. You have a president in US who is so like transactional in nature. So all these things, hope you're understanding where we are going with this, where our editorial sir is going with this. He is talking about technological sovereignty. Good morning, Mamta. Good morning, Shiparna. So Kusar and everyone else, thank you, Suparna. So technological sovereignty he is talking about. Again, there will be some keywords which we have to understand from exam perspective. Technological, and again, why it is important, this whole article, this whole editorial, from GS paper 3, GS means paper 3, you have cyber security. From that perspective, this article is important. Cyber security. So he's talking about critical infrastructure, bank, train, power grids, depends on foreign built technologies. And this is, a catastrophe is waiting to happen. Before, we cannot, like now we are focusing on our own IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System, although it's not functional, we're still too much dependent on GPS. Similarly, here also, our critical infrastructure has to be indigenously built. It cannot depend on foreign built technologies. Hope you're understanding. Unpredicted term. Good morning, Ranjit. So vulnerability or dependence. A few global companies, mostly from one country. What is the name of that country? If you know it, post it. Control vital system. If they withdraw or disable services, India could face severe harm. And that's why we need technological sovereignty. We have got political sovereignty, all these things are fine, but we are still far away from getting technological sovereignty, according to this sir from Triple IT Hyderabad. Cool. So India lacks foundational software such as its own operating system. This is so sad, yaar. We have so many IITs, this and that. We don't have our own operating system. And then here there is something known as open source software. Many people who are from, computer background, BTech background, they already know these terms. What is open source? But it's not like everybody is knowing these terms. So what is open source? The sir here from Triple IT Hyderabad, he's saying that we should focus on using open source. So let's say Windows is not open source. Linux is open source. So what is the basic meaning here? So this window operating system which you are using, you don't know the source code. We don't know what code were written, like the programming thing. We don't know the source code for Windows, but we do know the source code for Linux. It is open, it is there on open platform. So that is the basic meaning of open source. You can see the source code in the case of Linux. You cannot see it in the case of Windows. We don't know how it was made. What is the code? What is the programming done? So see this thing. What they are saying is, what author is saying is, we need technological sovereignty. This cannot be done by one institution, one IIT or this and that. All the people have to come together and this has to be done. And then he's talking about in technological sovereignty, there are two terms. Python is open source, I guess. Python is a programming language, if I'm not wrong. I've done BTech from computer science, but that has been like 12 years back. So let's focus here. So in technological sovereignty, there are two terms: hardware sovereignty and software sovereignty. India is good in software sovereignty. We have these companies, we have services companies, and there are product based companies, services companies like TCS, etc. So software sovereignty is still fine, but when it comes to hardware sovereignty, semiconductor, CPU making, we need investment. We need technological, know-how. And like, take the example of space technology. Here Russia is helping us so much, and now slowly and gradually we are becoming more and more indigenous. Same thing has to be done when it comes to hardware technology. We need hardware sovereignty. Cool. So here again he's talking about this technological sovereignty will come through these open source software like Linux, etc. And there is a need for collectible, different IITs, etc. Triple IITs have to come together. First step. Now, exam perspective, like what are the terms which are important? Client side tools, server side tools. So this is more science and tech article, and we have to understand the different terms. What are these client side tools? What are these server side tools? So client, so these apps, Android apps, which we are using, we are the clients. So these apps are client side tools, client side tools, not server side tools. So let's say Shripurna, Mamta, Ranjit, Anandu, and other people. So what is happening here? We people are sending our data. That data is stored somewhere, processed somewhere, stored or processed somewhere. That is known as server side: web server, email server, cloud server. So server side is where the data is collected and processed. Client side is whatever we are using. We are using our email, we are using our apps. So this is client side. Please understand the difference between server side and client side. Cool. So again, you can read all these things. Focus. In India, there is one thing which we keep on talking about. We have R&D, research and development, but our research is very much lagging, and we have to focus on research if we need technological sovereignty. In technological sovereignty, there are two components: hardware sovereignty and software sovereignty. Software sovereignty, we are doing okay. Hardware sovereignty, we still have a long way to go. So India must launch an urgent mission. We talk about this mission, that mission. There should be a mission to focus on technological sovereignty. That's what the author is saying. Let's solve some questions so that you can remember the things which we have just discussed. The open source model is considered a path to India's technological independence because Shipurna has given the answer. Again, there are some statements which are extreme statements. Extreme statements like it requires no community involvement. It guarantees immediate hardware independence. It eliminates the need for long-term independence. If you see BCD, all these are very, very, extreme statements. What is the basic rationale? Why we are focusing on open source model? Because it will ensure the software is free from foreign control and backdoors, and we can change it according to our needs and conveniences. So as Shripurna, Mamta, and Gajanan said, the answer is A. Let's focus on server side components. Consider the following statement regarding server side components. We have talked about client side and server side. What is the basic difference? I've told you what is the basic difference between client side and server side. So use option elimination to solve this particular question. Server-side components include web server, email server, and cloud server. Server-side software runs primarily on user's device. It handles data processing, storage, and communication with clients. Shipurna has given the answer. So what we have discussed in the server side and client side thing, the client side things runs primarily on the user device. This is not server side, this is client side. Our app, our email, all these things, these are client side. Server side is storage, so web server and all the information wherever it is stored. So data processing, storage. Second, we know for sure is wrong. Third, we know for sure is correct. So the answer has to be C1 and 3 only, stated by Shipurna, Mamta, Anandu. Anandu also tried it. Anandu, are you understanding why C is the answer and not second? Because server-side software don't run on user's device. It runs on, the thing which runs on user's device is client-side software. Server is there for the guy who will be managing all these things. So this whole definition, the second definition is about the client-side thing. Cool. And again, if we go back, we'll come back to this article about Nepal in chaos, India-Nepal relationship. Let's have a look at this thing. Client-side tools, database, email client, and calendar, which is working on the user side. Server-side tools, the information which is there. So the person who will be maintaining these things, they have these information, not the user. So the answer of second is very good. Good morning, Jivayana, the sister of Vatsayana, who wrote Kama Sutra. Oh my God. Page number 1. Nepal in chaos. PM only resigns. Parliament top court set afire. Now, again, this is a news. You see this. He is Nepal's Ranveer Singh. He looks like Nepal's Ranveer Singh. So again, all Gen Z is leading the chart, and all these things are fine. But here we have to understand some different terms, like what is a caretaker PM? India-Nepal relationship, different dimensions of India-Nepal relationship. So there are different terms which we have to understand from exam perspective, and then what will happen in Nepal, how it will impact us. So there are different dimensions to this particular article. I have always been very confused about these Gen Z and millennials. What is the basic difference between Gen Z and millennials? Gen Z are those people who are wearing ganji. Ganji means banyan. If you are wearing Rupa's banyan, then Rupa is wearing. Okay. So Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resigned after violent Gen Z-led anti-corruption protests. For people like you, is there possibility in Indian like Nepal? Don't say that, Ranji. So now what we are discussing is the difference between Gen Z and millennials, and 19 people were killed. Again, you can read these things. This is like the things which are happening there. People are getting killed, etc. We have our sympathies, but we have to focus on the things which are important from exam perspective. So what has happened? The Supreme Court, Singh Darbar, all these things, at several government offices were attacked, blah blah blah. Od's resident was in Balakot was set on fire, and the basic rationale here is they are saying that all these PM, for not only current PM Ganji, okay, hey, so what we are discussing here, these people, the Gen Z's people, they are saying that the current PM, not only current PM, they're targeting former PMs also. They are, living lavishly on our fathers and grandfathers' money. So that is the basic rationale here. Home of former MPs, that's why Sher Bahadur Deuba, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, their houses were also torched. Deuba and his wife were manhandled. This is not correct. But when these things happen, you know, there will be repercussions anywhere and everywhere, and that is what we are seeing here. So yeah, let's focus. Attack on media. Now, what is the central slogan? You have to understand the core motto, why this whole thing is happening. Nepal's political class lives lavishly on the expense of our parents' tax money. Now, there are different stakeholders who are emerging in Nepal. People are not very happy with the mainstream political parties. So there are peripheral political parties which are emerging. So Kathmandu Mayor Balendra Shah, he is with the protesters, and many people feel like he will be forming an interim government soon with the help of another player. We will see that particular player. Who is that? So Army Chief General Ashok Raj, again, he is urging protesters, stop violence, don't do these things. Now Shah is with the protesters. Speculation grows that Shah may lead an interim administration. So there is a very high probability that you people may not have even heard about Balendra Shah earlier. He is a new player. I am very sure you may have not heard about him. Similarly, the second guy. Who is the second guy? Ravi Lamachain. There was also one Nepalese spinner. His name is also ending with Lamachain. So he has formed a party, Rashtriya Swatantra Party or something like that, of Nepal. Do check it. It was formed in 2020s, very recent party. So he was released from jail on security ground. And this Ravi Lamachain, he was earlier a journalist, and then he turned to become a politician. So again, you can see these people, the so-called people whom we were not knowing about earlier. Now there is a chance that this Ravi Lamachain sir, he will be forming a alliance with the Mayor Shah, and this is what will be happening here. Nepal now has a caretaker PM. So the current PM, he has resigned. Now, what is a caretaker PM? This is important from every exam perspective. Caretaker PM. Oh my God, I'm stammering here. So the basic brother of Amit Shah. Hey. So caretaker PM. The basic meaning here is that he will not do big policy reforms. He is there till a new PM is assigned. He will carry out the day-to-day work because somebody needs to do that till the time a new government is assigned. So that is a caretaker PM. And there is a paralyzed parliament. So the normal functioning has been hampered to a greater extent, and Nepal is in a political vacuum. Now, if we talk about India-Nepal relationship, and we keep on, and this is important from GS to international relation. So we keep on talking about different dimensions: pestle analysis, political, economic, social, technological, anthropological, legal, and all these dimensions. So historically, Buddhism connects us. Not only Buddhism, Sita's, Janak Devi and all those places are there in Nepal. So there is Hinduism, Buddhism, which is acting as a cultural linkage between India and Nepal. When you talk from historical perspective, Buddha. Then if you talk from political perspective, we had a treaty in 1950 which allowed free movement. There is free border. We can go, come and go. Security perspective, Gorkha regiment and all those people. There is Nepali people who are working in India's defense system. Very brave people they are. Then from economic perspective, if we are talking about, India is Nepal's largest trade partner. We talk about China, we talk about other people, but India is Nepal's largest trade partner. And if you talk from strategic perspective, Nepal is landlocked. And if they have to get an access to sea, they have to get it via India. And these are the points which you have to talk about. These are the different dimensions we have to talk about. Then there is something known as big brother, small brother attitude. Big brother, small brother attitude. What is this big brother attitude? We have talked about Sikkim, if you remember. We keep on talking about Sikkim. Sikkim was a protectorate of India from 1947 to 75. Then via a particular amendment, which was that amendment? Sikkim became a 22nd state of India. So there is an apprehension. I think it is the culmination of long time grievances. I think it is possible. Many countries, yes, Ranjit, it is possible. So what we are discussing here, Sikkim became India's 22nd state via which amendment? If we have discussed about it, if you know it, post it in the comment section. Now, people, please understand this. If countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka even, or you talk about Bhutan, if they are very, very wary of India's big brother attitude, we are not talking about it is we are doing big brother attitude, because something has happened in the past. Sikkim became one of our state, 22nd state. So we'll talk about that. Historical and cultural ties, we have just discussed. Hindu-Buddhist heritage, political and diplomatic framework, 1950, India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship. All these points will help you in pre as well as mains. Very good, Anandu. Very good, Jiva. And you people are so good, just like a wow. So now India is Nepal's largest trade partner, investor, and aid provider. This you can write in the economic point, economic framework. Cool, sir. Economic and trade relationship, India accounts for nearly 2/3 of Nepal trade. If Nepal is trading 100 rupees, 67 coming from India. Nepal is landlocked, we have talked about. This is also the strategic perspective. If Nepal wants a sea access, they have to do it via India. Development and connectivity funds, you can read all these things, rail link and all these things. Now, security strategic, it is a buffer state. So China is also investing in India, like India, I'm saying, in Nepal. And sometimes India don't like it. And then there was something called as blockade. There was something which happened in mid 2010, around 2015, related to constitution. Madheshis were protesting, Madheshi people of Nepal. UPSC has already asked a PYQ on Madheshis, just like they have asked on Houthis. So there were protests which were happening, and then at that time Nepal was like, India is doing blockade. India is not allowing goods to pass from Nepal to India, and from there from Indian ports to other regions. So this is blockade because we can do that, because if they want access to sea, they have to go through us. So again, it's not like we will do it, but we are just talking from strategic perspective what can happen. So India's concern, Chinese inroad into Nepal, Gorkha soldiers from Nepal serve in India's army. You can talk it from security perspective. And then border dispute. Earlier, in I think 5-10 days back, we have talked about Lipu Lake Pass. Lipu Lake Pass, India and China, they want to resume their trade via this Lipu Lake Pass. But this is a contentious area, Lipu Lake border dispute. And in recent times, our relationship with Nepal has suffered to a certain extent. Why it has suffered? Because Nepal redrew, oh my God, redrew some maps where they shown these areas as part of theirs. So all these things are happening, which is leading to certain issue, which we have to keep in mind. Very good. Cool. So recent issues and tension. This is what we were talking about. Nepal constitution. Madhesi were protesting, and at that time Nepal was like India is doing an unofficial blockade. They are not saying they're doing the blockade, but they are doing a blockade. 2020 border dispute, as we have just discussed. Nepal made new political map, showed Lipule, Kalapani, and Limpiadhura as their region. And in fact, so many things started happening during that time. They fired at some of our some Indian people. I don't know whether you have heard about it or not. So these are issues and tension. All these points will give you, like, once you have done this article, your India-Nepal relationship is done. You have all the points. You don't have to run here and there. People to people, we have talked about Pashupatinath, Janakpur, Bodh Gaya, all these people to people cultural democracy means diplomacy. Udit Narayan, you may have heard about Udit Narayan. He was in news recently. He was kissing anyone and everyone. Oh my god. Okay, no, not like that. He's one of the best singer ever. So he was like, he's from Nepal, I guess. So Bollywood and Indian TV, they are popular in Nepal, people to people contact. Way forward, we have to respect in Nepal's sovereignty, because what happened with Sikkim, people are wary that something similar can happen with them as well. So this big brother attitude has to go away. If you have some issues with Chinese involvement in Nepal, we can talk with China directly. Cool. So summary, India-Nepal ties are unique, multi-dimensional, but these mistrust and all these things happen. Now, when you talk about this, India-Nepal relationship, it's like a family. Even in your family, you have these relationships, but we have to sort it out ourselves. And there's another example. Let's say husband and wife, they are having some issues. They should sort among themselves. I'm not saying Nepal is wife here. They should not bring the third party. Wife should not bring her family into the picture. Similarly, China should not become the third party here. Whatever issues you two people have, sort it among yourself. If you're involving third party, be it a family member or somebody else, hope you know where I'm going with this. It's not good. So India and Nepal, they have to sort out their relationship themselves. Again, we are not comparing anyone with the wife thing. So let's focus on MCQ 3 of the day. Consider the following about a caretaker prime minister. So who is like, what can caretaker PM do? Can carry out day-to-day administration, can introduce major policy reforms, hold office only until a new government is formed. Shipulna has given the answer. Shipulna, Gajanan, Mamta. You people are so good, just like a wow. So he cannot introduce major policy reforms. He's just there till the time a new government is formed. So second has to be removed. If second you remove, you're left with E and 3. Hold office until a new government is formed. That is correct. So third has to be correct. So the answer is B, 1 and 3 only, as stated by Purna, Gajanan, Mamta, Anandu, Chivayan. Very good. MCQ 4. Which of the following statement regarding India-Nepal relations is or are correct? So citizens of both country can travel and work across. Always use option elimination when you're solving these questions. Across the border without a visa. India is Nepal's largest trade partner. Nepal is landlocked and depends on India for transit routes. India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed in 50. Now this is a tough question. Why this is a tough question? Because there is not one, not two, not three, but four statements, bro. So obviously it is tough. Even if you're getting this question wrong, don't worry about it. So now, citizens of both countries can travel and work across the border without a visa. That is correct. So first is correct. Eliminate the option. You're left with three now. India is Nepal's largest trade partner. We have discussed, if Nepal is doing trade of 100 rupees, 67 rupees coming from to and fro from India. So second is also correct. So now again, 1, 2, 3 is there. Nepal is landlocked, depends. Yes, this is also correct. So third is also correct. Now you're left with B and C. Anybody has given the answer? So Jivayan, Anandu, Vishwas, and Mamta, they have tried it. Now, India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship, we have just discussed 50. So all the statements are correct. The answer is C, all of the above. So it's a tricky question. Jivayan tried it. Anandu answered it first. Jivayan was stuck between two options. Very good, Shipanna, Mamta, Jivayan, and everyone. MCQ 5, assertion reason. So assertion, India 19, means 1950 India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship allows free movement of citizens across the border. Nepal is not landlocked and can access the sea independently. Use option elimination. And if you like this video, share, subscribe, spread the word. Very good, Mamta. So we know for sure Nepal is landlocked, bro. How it is not landlocked? R is false, right? If R is false, then there is only one option which is there. A is true, R is false. Answer is C. Hope you're understanding. We don't need to know much about this thing. If you just read R, this is false. Nepal is landlocked. Reason is false. If reason is false, you're left with C option. So the answer is C. Option elimination will work like a charm. Again, like, share, and subscribe. You can buy these Hindu analysis PDF at 199 per month from me. That way you'll be ensuring Hindu analysis PDF, like Hindu analysis sessions go on. You can also, be a part of doubt sessions. If you have any doubt, collect them. And let's say in CSAT, you are doing some PYQs, you are having issues in calendar, you can just send me doubts at this number, 9650303257. We can schedule a doubt session, and that is chargeable at 500 per hour because our time is precious. Cool. And you can also be a part of my mentorship program. In these mentorship program, doubt sessions, unlimited doubt sessions are there. That's totally free. You don't have to pay for Hindu analysis PDF monthly. It is at one-time payment of 4999. You can look at the other details here. And as we have just discussed, after a certain period, everything becomes free in mentorship. So in the longer run, mentorship will help you a lot. And I'm all yours in mentorship. You can also donate, and you can also switch if you are part of, let's say you have taken one doubt session from me or Hindu analysis PDF from me. Let's say you have paid 400 rupees. You can pay the remaining amount which is there in that mentorship program, and you can switch to mentorship. It's totally up to you. It's not rocket science. And you can also donate. Let's move back to the next article of the day on page number 9. Lessons for India, how Kerala is tackling rapid urbanization. So now, GS1 urbanization you have. And again, here there will be certain terms which are very important from exam perspective, like pooled bonds. What is a pooled bond? And then there are some other terms. What Kerala is doing, how we have to means understand stuff. Very important from both pre as well as mains perspective. Mostly from mains perspective, but pre-related questions can also be framed. So what has happened? Kerala has a unique urban landscape. Then again, there will be some terms here: backwaters, and we'll see different terms which we have to understand. What is a midland? So let's say if I make the map of India. So here is Kerala. So what is happening here? So Kerala, you have sea, and let's say you have sea, which is lowland. Then you have something known as midland, and then you have highland, which is Western Ghats. So the area which is lying between the lowland, which is lying between the region which is closer to sea and Western Ghat, that is known as midland. This is the part which you have to understand. These are the keywords which we have to understand. What are backwaters? Backwaters are brackish lagoons, estuaries, estuaries. So now, what is brackish? Brackish means they are. Please understand. Sometimes they will give you that backwaters are fresh water. They are not fresh water. They are salty. So that is brackish. Brackish means it has some amount of salt. What is a lagoon? So lagoon is a water body which is disconnected from a sea or ocean by a barrier. That is a lagoon. So again, you can see how many terms are there. So here we have to talk about rapid urbanization. There are some terms, there are some projections about Kerala that by 2050, Kerala will be 80% urbanized. What about India? How much urbanized India will be by 2050? Around 50% urbanization we will have. So Kerala is getting urbanized at a much faster rate. And then we have seen the different terms here. So they have done what? They have formed something known as KUPC. Generally, when you talk about urbanization, just give me a second, what has happened here? Generally, when we talk about all these things, it's a top-down model. We have this urbanization. There is an urbanization ministry, Mahua. Which ministry? Mahua. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Who is Mahua? He is the brother of Nirahua. Nirahua is what? Like Nirahua is a Bhojpuri actor. He is famous for Nirahua Rickshawala. So this is your homework. You people have to watch Nirahua Rickshawala today. Complete that movie. This is one of the best movies ever made, as we keep on talking about. And Nirahua sir is the brother of Daniel Day-Lewis. Okay, let's focus here. So Mahua ministry, top-down approach, and now Kerala is doing something known as bottom-up approach, community policing, or they are involving their own machinery. So that's how we can learn from. Good morning, Rishi. That's how we can learn from Kerala and their policies. So this KUPC has been formed. KUPC, India's first state-level urban mission. This is not top-down model. This is in a way a bottom-up model. Kerala Urban Policy Commission. Again, pay attention to the keywords which are important. So what we were discussing here. Let's focus. So KUPC formed in December 2023, blah, blah, blah. Just have a look at this, why it was needed. Because Kerala's urbanization is much faster than India's urbanization. Do remember, they can ask you these facts and figures. How much India will be urbanized by 2050, how much Kerala will be urbanized. Plus, disasters happen of different kinds in Kerala. We keep on talking about it now. What is the recommendation of this KUPC? These recommendations you can also talk about. We talk about haphazard urbanization in India. The points which you are seeing here, you can write it as solutions. So climate and risk aware zoning, you can read this. Now green fee, again a keyword here. We have just discussed different keywords, backwater and then midland. Now green fee is what? Let's say you are making some construction projects in an environmentally sensitive area. Then you'll be paying some fee, environmentally sensitive area. This green fee is based on polluter pay principle. So polluters pay, that is green fee. So environmental levies for eco-sensitive project. This is one of the recommendation of KUPC. Municipal and pooled bonds. Now again, there are two terms, municipal bond and pool bond. So what is municipal bond? Most of you may know it, that there are municipal corporations, there are cities, they need money for development. So they will issue this debt instrument. How debt instrument works? So let's say I issued a debt, I issued a bond of 100 rupees. So now people will pay me 100 rupees and they will take away this bond. Let's say I've issued the bond at 10% interest and for 10 years. So what will happen? For 10 years, I will keep on paying 10% of 100, 10 rupees interest to them, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 for 10 years. And then at the end, I will also pay the principal amount back. That's how debt instrument works. That's how municipal bond works. So these municipal bonds have been issued by different municipal authorities. Same thing can be done here. What is a pool bond? Now, this is a tricky point, which most of the people don't know about. What is the basic concept of pool bond? Anyone has any idea how pool bond works? If you know it, post it in the comment section. How pool bond works. So see, municipal bonds, let's say Ahmedabad, let's say Pune Municipal Corporation, they have pooled a lot of money. Cool, people have trust in them. But then there are smaller municipalities which I don't trust, so I will not invest my money there. Then what happens? Different municipal corporations, smaller municipal corporations, they are coming together and they are going to an intermediate authority. Let's say in Kerala, this is the one of the beauty of Kerala. There are many people, you may have your own personal opinion. One good thing about Kerala is, like, you take any big state, Maharashtra, any state, you will have one or two cities which are very developed, and then lots of poverty in the, like, majority of the areas. In Kerala, even though you will not see city like Mumbai, but there is some amount of equitable development which has happened there. Pool bond will help in that regard. So what is the basic concept of pool bond? Different municipal authorities of Kerala will come together. They will go to an intermediate authority of state government. This state government intermediate authority will issue a bond on their behalf. So now what has happened here? Let's say earlier Pune Municipal Corporation has issued municipal bond. So now there is one corporation. In this scenario, in pooled bond, there are multiple corporations. So now the risk is diversified. Every corporation will give some money. So that's how pool bond works. Hope you understood the basic concept of pool bond. Cool. And then they have talked about regional hubs. Please pay attention to the words which are used here. And they are working on community based model of governance, where they are talking about different, like talking with different communities and incorporating the advices, fusion of local narratives and data system. So again, the terms which you have seen here, the words which you have seen there, here rather, the solutions which you have seen here, you can use it when we talk about how we can make our urbanization better and how we can take care of haphazard urbanization, time-bound urban communities, technical data. And again, you can read this. I am not reading it. I have just told you the important keywords associated in this article. So KUPC has rewired Kerala's urban DNA. This is not a top-down model. This is a bottom-up model. It's not like center is saying something and we are doing it. It's a living adaptive plan. And again, we can learn from Kerala if you want to. Let's focus on some MCQs now. MCQ 6 of the day. Kerala's backwaters are. Kerala's backwaters are freshwater lakes in the highlands, brackish lagoons, canals, and estuaries parallel to the coast, underground rivers feeding midland plains, artificial reservoir in coastal city. I've just told you what is the basic meaning of this particular backwater. Do option elimination. So Rajneesh, no, Sriparna, Anandu, Rajneesh, Rishi, Gajanan, Mamta, they have given the answer. Kerala's backwater are brackish lagoon. They are salty. They are not freshwater canals and estuaries parallel to the coast. MCQ 7. Which of the following statement about municipal and pool bonds are correct? So municipal bonds are issued by large cities to raise funds for infrastructure. Pool bonds allow multiple small municipalities to jointly raise funds. Both instruments reduce dependence on central grants rather. So again, use option elimination. Municipal bonds issued by large cities to raise funds for infrastructure. That is correct. Pune Municipal Corporation, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. So first has to be correct. So you are left with A, B, and D now. Pool bonds allow multiple. We have discussed. Risk is diversified in the case of pool bonds. So second is also correct. Now you're left with A and D. Both instruments reduce dependence on central grants. If you have money from municipal and pool bonds, obviously we'll take less money from center. So the answer is D, 1, 2, and 3. Shipurna tried it. Gajanan, Rishi, Rajneesh, Anandu, all of you people, are you understanding why third is correct? If you have money from municipal bond, pool bond, when do you take money from center? When you have lesser of your own money. So this is your own money. Agree, this is a debt instrument, you have to pay it back, but this reduces. Even if you have, let's say I have a loan, even then, although grant I don't have to pay it back, even then why would I take it when I already have some money? If I'm already taking grant, let's say, why would I issue these bonds then? So yes, if you have these instruments, if it is working fine, you're getting money, it will reduce dependence on central grants. Hope you're understanding. So the answer is D, 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is page number 1. Many people may have covered it as first article of the day. I'm covering it as the fourth article of the day because we have talked about election of Vice President. Radhakrishnan sir has been elected as Vice President of India. Now, VP election and President election. This is important, how they're different from each other. Not here on this channel, but in previous Hindu analysis on some other channel, I have told you this whole thing. In President election, elected MPs plus MLAs, cool. They both will participate. But in the case of VP election, only MPs participate. And here both elected and nominated MPs participate. So when we are talking about president election, Sachin Tendulkar will not participate in that, would not have participated here because he was a nominated MP. Do remember it. In the case of vice president election, if Sachin Tendulkar was there, he would have participated in vice president election. In the case of president election, there is a weighted system. Weighted system means the vote of MPs and MLAs, they differ. Here, everyone has equal vote. All these MPs who are voting, they have equal vote. What is weighted vote here? So MLAs, their value depends on the population of their state. So let's say population of Sikkim is very low. So the value of vote of MLA of Sikkim will be very less in president election. And the value of vote of UP or MLA of UP or Bihar will be very high. And what is the value of MP vote? So MP's value is value of all MLA votes divided by total elected MPs. So that's how you get the value of vote of MP. Hope you're understanding where we are going with these. These are the things which are important. We are awesome. We are very happy that Radhakrishnan sir has become the 17th Vice President of India. But from UPSC perspective, these are the things which you have to keep in mind. How Vice President election is different from the President election. So vote margin, some cross voting happened here. My voice is gone. So cross voting means some opposition leaders, they may have voted for Radhakrishnan sir, who was contesting from ruling party. So again, these things nobody is going to ask you this. What is important from other exam perspective? Who is the 17th Vice President of India? From UPSC perspective, how this whole thing happens? Who are the people who are involved in the election of Vice President? Cool. Now, This is the part which is important, which we were talking about. In the case of president, elected MPs of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they will participate. Elected MLAs of all state and union territories. Votes are weighted as we have just discussed. The vote of MP is generally bigger than that of MLA, and the vote of MLA of bigger states, or bigger states with, like the states with bigger population, will be bigger than the votes of MLA of smaller states. And here, smaller and bigger are from the perspective of population. Hope you're understanding. So members of, and here there is no weighted system in the case of vice president. Everyone has one vote. Okay, sir. Let's solve some question. You will understand what we are discussing here. MCQ 8 of the day. So vice president of India is elected by member of parliament and elected MLAs, members of parliament only, members of parliament, MLAs and nominated MPs, only the Rajya Sabha members. CP Radhakrishnan. Very good. So Mamta, Shripurna, Anandu, they have given the answer. Everybody is giving a different answer. Gajana and Rishi. So Vice President of India, as we have discussed, only MPs. Doesn't matter elected or nominated. Not MLAs. So first option is gone. Not MLAs. Third option is gone. Not Rajya Sabha. So the answer is Member of Parliament only. You can see now the options have been removed. People, why are you making mistake here? Are you understanding what we have just discussed? We have just discussed vice president only, member of parliament, elected and nominated doesn't matter. All can participate. Unlike president election, when only elected MPs and elected MLAs can participate. So the answer is B. MLAs are not there in vice president election. Do revise it. Again, it's a tricky part. If you revise it, you will not make mistake. Let's solve one PYQ based on UPSC 2018. Cool, Suparna. So, with reference to election of President of India, consider the following statement. Value of vote of each MLA varies from state to state. Value of vote of MPs of Lok Sabha is more than the value of votes of MPs of Rajya Sabha. You can make a mistake here. This is a tough question. Don't worry if you're making a mistake here. At least try to solve this particular question. No issues, Rishi. So value of vote of each MLA varies from state to state. I have just told you the state with a bigger population, their value is more in the case of president of election. That's what UPSC is asking. So first is correct. If first is correct, you can eliminate B and D option. You're left with one only in both, right? Value of vote of MPs of Lok Sabha is more than the value of vote of MPs of Rajya Sabha. I did not tell you that. I just told you value of elected MP is equal to, in the case of president election, is equal to total value of all MLA votes, all elected MLA votes, of all MLA votes divided by total elected MPs. So here, in the case of MP of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, elected MPs, their vote is same, value is same. There is no difference there. So the second statement is wrong. If second is wrong, you're left with A1 only. Again, a tricky question, an important question, which we have to keep in mind. And who answered it? Gajanan answered it first, then Anandu, then Rishi, then Rajneesh also tried it. Are you people understanding why second statement is wrong? Value of vote of MPs, be it of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, the only thing is they have to be elected. It's same. There is no difference in the MP within Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But when we talk about the value of vote of MP, it is greater than the value of vote of MLA. This is a tricky part. You have to revise this part, go through it again and again. You will understand where we are going with this. I have to revise president and vice president chapter with MCQ now. Yes, you do. Cool. So the answer is A1 only. Next article, page number 14. Ethiopia inaugurates Africa's biggest dam despite protest from downstream Egypt. Now let's have a look at first of all the map. Then you will understand what this article is all about. So if you see this thing, this is Ethiopia. They are making a grand Ethiopian Renaissance dam here, which is at the border of Sudan, and they are making this grand Ethiopian Renaissance dam on, as you can see here, Blue Nile River. Now here is Blue Nile, there is White Nile. So this Blue Nile and White Nile, they meet at Khartoum in Sudan, and from there they flow as Nile River. You can see the Nile River. Egypt, they get 97% of their water from Nile River. 97% of water from Nile River. And if you see the origin point, this Blue Nile, White Nile, this is the upstream portion. River is like, if you see from means Himalaya perspective. So this is the upstream Himalayan river originating from here, and then they're going downstream. Similarly, so this is the higher land, Ethiopia, etc. They are the higher land. From there, water is flowing to the lower land, Egypt, etc. So whatever is happening in the higher land, whatever is happening in the upstream region, will impact water flow in the downstream area of Egypt, and that's why Egypt is so much concerned about this whole dam, which is built by Ethiopia, and they have gone to UNSC. United Nations Security Council. So please pay attention. There are so many keywords. There are so many things which are important from exam perspective. You can understand it from this perspective also. Like Indus Water Treaty. India talks about Indus Water Treaty, and we will not give water. Why we say we will not give water? Because we are the upstream here. Most of the rivers are originating from our place, or it is originating from, let's say, Tibet and coming to India and then going to Pakistan. So that's why. Same thing means China also can do in the case of Brahmaputra. They can make some dam and they can impact the flow of Brahmaputra. Similarly, you can understand here from Egypt perspective. They are like, so like in Brahmaputra case, India and China. So China is Ethiopia and India is Egypt. In the case of Indus Water Treaty, India is Ethiopia and Pakistan is Egypt. Hope you are understanding where we are going with this upstream and downstream concept. So a debate is going on. Now, there can be one query which can come in your mind. What is the stance of Sudan, which is sandwiched between Ethiopia and Egypt? So Sudan is acting as a mediator. It's more like, please calm down, both of you, bro. Why are you escalating the matter? They're just concerned about how much water will be flowing and flood management, etc. But more or less, they are fine. They are neutral in a way. But the major issue or the major stakeholders here are Ethiopia and Egypt, and you can understand why Egypt is so much concerned about this whole project. So let's focus here on this article now. Now you know the basic intricacies of this whole issue. So Ethiopia has inaugurated Africa's biggest dam. Anything biggest first, all these things are important. So now, so Great Ethiopian or Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, Africa's largest hydroelectric project. They can ask you where it is built on. I have just told you the basic intricacies, Blue Nile, White Nile, they will come together and they will form the main Nile River. Construction began and there has been escalation. Egypt is saying don't do it, Ethiopia is doing it, and now Egypt has said something else. So he is Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia. He's saying that this is a great achievement for all black people. Again, you can read all these things. Kenya, now you can see sites being taken. Sites being taken means who is taking part in this particular inauguration ceremony are the countries who will be siding with Ethiopia. And so Kenya and Somalia, they are with Ethiopia. They attended this inauguration ceremony rather. This is Kenya, this is Somalia, and they are neighboring countries. They can ask you this because what we were discussing. They can ask you this because which of the countries are neighboring Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is in news now. So you have to keep it in mind. Okay, sir. So Egypt relies on Nile for 97% of its water. It lies in the downstream region. We have just discussed the concept of downstream and upstream. For the LCC called GRD, an existential threat. And he is the president of Egypt, and he has taken the matter to UNSC. And they are saying that these rivers, they are involving multiple countries. So you cannot do unilateral thing, right? You have to involve all the countries together. And Egypt rather, Ethiopia is doing something unilateral. They are violating international law according to Egypt, as you can see here. Now let's solve some questions. So this is MCQ 10 based on the previous article. So value, again, revise these questions, all these questions. Your president, vice president chapter will be revised here only. Value of an MP's vote is in presidential election is calculated by assigning one vote per MP, dividing total MLA votes by number of elected MPs, what we have just discussed. Based on the population of state, they belong to none of the above. So Anandu, Shriparna, Gajanan, Rajneesh, Rishi, they have given the answer. Again, answers are not converging. So what we have discussed, value of MP vote in the case of president election, for focus here. In the case of vice president election, all votes are equal. But in the case of president election, the votes are weighted. Total MLA votes divided by total number of elected MPs. So the answer is B, as stated by Anandu Shriparna. Gajanan also tried it, Rajneesh also tried it, Rishi also answered it correctly, Mamta also tried it. So again, you people are making mistakes in the static portion. Don't do that. Revise these chapters. These are static part. Oh my god. But again, it's fine. Better to do the mistakes here only rather than doing it in the exam. So Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is located on which particular river? White Nile, Blue Nile, Atbara River or Barrow River? So Anandu, Shipurna, Rishi, Mamta, they've given the answer. The answer is Blue Nile. Hope you understood the concept of Blue Nile, White Nile and the Nile. Blue Nile is providing almost 60 to 70% of the water to Nile. White Nile is comparatively, it has lesser water. And pay attention to the African map as well. MCQ 12 of the day. Which of the following issues have occasionally constrained India-Nepal relations? Kalapani Lipu Lake border dispute, 2015 Nepal constitution controversy, Chinese investment in Nepal. Think about it. This is a homework for you people. We'll discuss this tomorrow. MCQ 13. KUPC is unique because here we are talking about Kerala Urban Planning Commission. Why it is unique? So in polity, if you present UIP chapter, also national emergency easy chapter. No, no, it's not easy or tough. It's about revision. Polity is confusing. Mamta, polity is confusing, and things look very similar. So you have to revise them. When you're doing president election, do vice president election at the same time, and read when you're reading president, read governor at the same time. When you're reading PM, read CM at the same time. So you have to do parallel study. I have 2 times completed M. Lakshmikant, although create confusion. Oh my god, exactly, Rishi. So again, MCQ 12 and 13, they are homework for you people. Have a look at this. These questions, we'll discuss it tomorrow. If you know the answer, post it in the comment section. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. This is the channel. Subscribe it. Tell people about it. You people, as I have told you, you are my messenger. You can also post your score. Out of 11 MCQs which you have just done, how many you got correct? You can buy these PDF at 199 per month, thereby supporting me, thereby ensuring Hindu analysis goes on. You can also collect your doubts, whatever doubts you have, like we were just discussing president, vice president, and again CSAT, etc. Whatever doubts you have, send it to me, and we'll have a schedule. Like we'll schedule these doubt sessions. Also, you can be a part of mentorship program. In that, all these doubt sessions, Hindu analysis PDF, mains answers, evaluation, everything is free for one-time payment of 4,999. You know the process. Have a look at it, and you can do it again. You know the thing. I'm all yours in mentorship. You can also switch from Hindu analysis PDF to mentorship and all. You know the process. I have told you the drill. So that's it from me, sir and ma'am. And thank you, Shripunna. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you, Anandu. And I will see people tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Take care. Be blessed. Tata. Bye bye.